Starting with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, to whom we all have to turn with. Honorable listeners and respectable audience, you know that we have started a series of research. And research, I told you about the definition of research, the characteristics of research, quantitative research, and variables and its types. Today, I'm going to teach you the relationship, the correlation or relationship between variables. Listeners and audience, if you are a researcher, either qualitative researcher or quantitative researcher, you must know the relationship between variables, that either positive relationship is there or negative relationship is there or no relationship is there. The question is, what is meant by a relationship between variables? Relationship between variable means that in research sometimes there is a connection, there is a relationship between two factors. Sometimes that relationship is positive or negative. In this regard, we have divided the relationship between variables in three categories, in three types. The first one, that is called positive relationship. What is meant by positive relationship between two variables? Positive relationship between two variables means that if one factor in research increases, another factor will also increase. On the other hand, if one factor in research decreases, another will also decrease. So this is very important point here for the sake of understanding. If one variable or one factor in research increases, another will increase. If one decreases, another will also decrease. Let me provide an interesting example. Take the example of two friends, for example. This is just that you know it practically. For example, there are two friends. If one friend smiles, another also smiles. So, if one friend smiles, his smile increases, another smile also increases. For understanding. Now let's come to other examples like study hours. If there are students, they study, for example, for 5 hours. So if their study time increases, definitely it will affect their marks. Their marks will also increase. Their score will also increase. So it means if the students' study hours increase, definitely their marks will also increase. It means there is positive relationship between the two variables. Study hour, one variable. Student marks, another variable. One variable increase one factor, another factor is also affected by it, so marks also increase. On the other hand, if the students, if they decrease their study hours time, so what would be the result of that? The result of that would be that it will affect their marks. The result, the score of their test will be decreased. Another example is exercise. For example, if there is a person, he takes exercise daily and he also increases the time of exercises. So as much as he increases the time of exercise, that much his physical fitness will increase. But on the other hand, if he decreases that time, if he reduces that time, definitely the physical fitness will also affected from it and it will also decrease. So either if one is increases, another is increases. If one is decreases, another is also decreases. It means positive relationship is there. And then we have the example related to the company, for example. That is a company, and the company advertises more again and again. So as much as the company advertises, that much the customers, the buyers, they will attract to their company. The income of the company will increase. But if the company decreases the advertisement, then the income of the company, the customers or the buyers of those things, commodities, will be decreased. It means positive relationship is there. Same is the case of higher education. This is mostly common in our country, Pakistan, and other countries around the globe as well. If you have higher education, you will have high salary. So if your education level increases, your income, your salary will also be increased. Positive correlationship is there. Now I'm sure that this is clear. Remember, I will present very interesting example at the end of this lecture. Okay, now let's come to negative relationship between two variables. Negative relationship between two variables means that if one factor, for example, increases, another will decrease. It is like a seesaw. Just I draw this simple picture. You see, when we are talking about a seesaw, for example, you are cutting the tree. So if you are cutting the tree, the one side of the seesaw will increase while the other will decrease. So a negative relationship between two variables means that if one variable or one factor increases, another will be decreased. And it will be clear from these interesting examples. Take the example of the number of absences, or absentees. For example, as much as the students they are absent from the class, that much the absentees will affect the marks or the scores of the students. So as much as they are absent from the class, that much their score will be decreased. So one level increased, another level decreased. It means negative relationship is there between two factors, variables. Take the example of smoking and lung health, two variables. If smoking, if a person he smokes a lot, definitely lung health problem will be increased. If a person smoking a lot, lung health problem will be increased. Negative relationship is there. And if it is a bit confusable, let me provide uh, to make it more easy. For example, if someone smoking, the health problem will be increased. But if someone is, for example, decrease smoking, definitely there will be the lung health problem will also decrease. And this is a bit confusable. So let me make another example that avoid clarity. But here you will confuse that how it seems to be like positive relationship, no positive relationship, because if someone is smoking, fine, smoking is already something negative effect. So smoking, if someone increase the smoking, the lung health is important for the human body. So that health problem, that health which is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that lung health will decrease. So as much as the person increase the smoking, lung health problem will be what? The health of that person will be decrease. I say at the beginning that increase. I'm sorry for that. There was a bit confusion. Another one is stress level. For example, if someone is in the stress, so as much as his stress increases, that much his happiness will be decrease. So negative relationship is there. Another one is, as I provided, if someone's stress decreases, his happiness will be increased. It means uh, negative relationship is there. So negative relationship mean if one factor increases, another will be decreased, or if one decrease, another will be increased. And then we're talking about no relationship. No relationship mean when there is no relation between two variables. Like for example, if there is a student and his shoe size is, for example, good, normal, etc., it has no effect on his marks. There is another student, he has, for example, big feet, so his big feet has no influence or impact particularly on his intelligence, on yes, on his proficiency. It means there is no relationship between two variables. And I promise that I will present a very lengthy example. Let's provide a very lengthy example for understanding. For example, you are a researcher, quantitative researcher. You are conducting quantitative research over 100 students. And what is your topic? The topic is the effect of times or study hours on student marks. The effect of study hours on students' marks. So now, from 100 students, you collected the data. How you collected the data, for example? You conducted the test. When you conducted the test, you checked the papers of the students, and after that, you came to know that some students they got 80 marks, some got 70 marks, some got 60 marks. So now you ask the students, you conducted an interview or questionnaire. You ask the students that, like for example, how did you get these marks? What was the reason behind it? So you come to know due to your research of the collection of data that those students who got 60 marks, they studied just 1 hour. Those who got 70 marks or score, they studied for 2 hours. And those who got 80 score, 80% marks, it means they study 3 hours. So it means as much as the student they for example allocated and reserved time for the study, that much they got high score. So now what kind of relationship is that? Definitely there is positive relationship between the two variables, like the effect of time on student marks. As much as they increase the time, that much their marks increase. Hope that this topic is clear to you. Thank you.